Let's stay in Shanghai. Michael Zakkour is joining us. He's from the consulting firm Tompkins International. He specializes in the China, Asia, Pacific market. Give me your sense. How are luxury brands growing in China? What are you seeing there?
Well, luxury had a rough couple of years there in China, but we can see it's fully rebounded. And I think it's because luxury companies are adapting a little bit more to local tastes. They realize that there's more than one segment of luxury buyers in China. They're turning to social media, they're turning to e-commerce. And so we see LVMH, Gucci, Chanel, brands like that are doing really well.
Talk to me about the e-commerce piece of this, because that was also mentioned in the story. And I guess a lot of us don't think about that. But once you get outside of Shanghai and Beijing, there's still dispensable income for some of these folks. They want to spend it on the luxury goods. I guess that's the avenue for them.
That's right. Anybody in China, even people in the rural areas, can now have access to luxury goods that used to only be available in the big cities. But I think the luxury companies are also understanding that e-commerce is the primary way that most Chinese consumers want to shop today. And so while they were certainly reluctant, not just in China, but globally in previous years to engage in e-commerce, over fears of price and brand integrity, you can see they're really embracing it now. So we've seen Gucci has just recently entered the e-commerce market in China. LVMH is making a big push into e-commerce. And these companies realize that that is the model for the future.
You mentioned Gucci, LVMH. It was interesting when I was in Beijing recently. I spent some time with the CEO of Cogito, which is high-end eyewear. That's a Chinese company. Are you seeing Chinese companies also trying to get into this avenue and trying to create top brands?
Yeah, I mean, we've definitely seen a more active effort by Chinese companies to break into the luxury market, but they've still got a long way to go. I mean, foreign luxury companies still dominate almost every category in luxury, whether it's wines and spirits like Moet Hennessy, whether it's cars, BMW, Audi. Across categories, it really is the foreign products that Chinese luxury consumers desire.
Michael, give me your sense of the cultural differences between Asia and the United States when it comes to this.
Well, obviously, the cultural differences are huge. I think what people need to understand, though, it's not necessarily how the cultures differ that drive sales. It's how the culture informs purchase motivations. And so what we're seeing is Chinese consumers are modernizing, they're not westernizing. And so they will buy the same fine wines, cars, Xenia suits that we want in the West, but they buy them for very different reasons. And from a cultural change, I think what we're starting to see now in China is it's more about the self, well-being, feeling good about yourself, surrounding yourself with nice things and good quality products. It's not as much about showing off anymore.
Do the sales strategies change then as a result of that? I mean, are the luxury goods, are they attracting consumers in a different way?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, really engaging in social media, in omni-channel, giving consumers the ability to engage with the brand, experience the brand, buy anywhere. And especially the rise in overseas travel by Chinese consumers has changed the game as well. We had 160 million outbound tourists from China last year. And so companies need to really harmonize their luxury experience on a global basis. They can't just have a China strategy or a Europe strategy. And especially we're seeing, in Europe and the US, the luxury companies are allowing Alipay and UnionPay in their stores. So it's much more about a globalized Chinese consumer demographic.
Michael, thanks so much for your insights. Appreciate it.